Hey, welcome back everybody to the game hall. Today it's Black Seas, British versus French. Now we've got everything set up here. We've got all of our markers and dice. The back view of the game hall ready to go. Mr. Joe, Mr. Paul. Here's our French fleet. I have 2 third rates, a frigate, and 2 brigs. In English, 2 brigs, a frigate, a merchant ship, another frigate, and a third rate. Now here we have the British Fortress Island with their little village. Turned out really well, happy with that. And the French Island Fort with its little village. Now the fortresses get 2 blue 10-sided dice shots per round, 30-inch range. They fire just like a heavy cannon off the ships with the same stats. There's my weather gauge, my weather vane down there was printed on my Giddy X-Maker. Now here comes the French fleet on the French side of the board. Now these are 2 6x4 mats, and we have the English fleet formed up. Wind is coming from the south here in the Caribbean Sea. And you can see the markers that we use to make sure we keep track of the order of the movement, because it is not an I go, you go game. It's whoever is closest to the wind and 1 through 11 ships, based on the ships that are closest to the wind, which is coming from the south. You see here we got Joe making his first move. Or one of his moves, I should say. It wasn't his first move. We've got food on the way. We've got popcorn. We've got snacks. And today was going to be chili dogs, chips and dip, veggies and dip, and homemade chocolate cookies for dessert. We see we got our markers here. If we get any kind of gun damage, those are critical hits if you roll a 1 on one of your 10-sided dice. And it's critical in big games like this, guys, to have these markers. Now this was a homespun creation of my own. And I've just found some old plastic bases and put numbers on them. And there you go, you see our turning dial and our measurements. Let's see, a third rate, he can move 4 inches. And he's at battle sails. So battle sails he can move twice. But you move first, then turn. Then you can move again and then turn. You can also fire the first or second turn at battle sails like that. If his first move he was in line with another ship and he wanted to fire his cannons and he's in range, he can certainly do that. But one of the fun aspects of this particular game, guys, was at the start of the turn, each fort was allowed to fire 2 shots at 30-inch range, and that was a nice element to the game. We definitely had scored some hits and some damage on some of the ships, and we'll probably alternate that. We're probably going to increase that to 4 shots per turn. Again, we're firing the forts at the start of the turn before any ships move. Right? So the very first step of the game, guys, each turn is to roll for the wind direction. And we have found that the wind really doesn't change much through the game. And being a Caribbean Sea, we have a breeze, a wind coming from the south. It's an excellent game, guys. If you're not playing Black Seas, I highly, highly recommend it. And I'll put down below the studio that is in Lithuania that I ordered these mats. They're double-sided mats, guys, and the other side of these mats is a star field, so we can play X-Wing or Armada or any other kind of space game. But you can see here there's a lot of action that goes on in this game. It's constantly flowing and moving. There's 2 ships caught on fire with critical hits with fire markers. And if you can sail your ship while it's on fire within 1 inch of an enemy ship, you can catch their ship on fire. And that's basically how the game ends. It was very close. I mean, it was just down to the wire. And you can see the 2 ships that are on fire. Paul got within 1 inch of me and caught me on fire. And then my magazine, it caught on each turn. I have to roll for a skill check, and my magazine exploded on my ship. You can see there my ship's on the left. I was the French, and that was the end of the game. Thanks for coming along today, guys. Next group game is Battle Group Torch, so stay tuned and make sure to join us.